Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Spotlight on Literacy webinar featuring the Kids Read Now program. We're going to allow a couple minutes for folks to join the webinar. While we wait, let's see who's joining us today. You can introduce yourself in the chat box. You can tell us your name, organization, your location. And if you're on the East Coast, maybe you can share how much snow you've gotten so far. We have some folks joining us from Colorado Springs, Central Massachusetts. Oh, gotten about 10 inches already. Greenville, North Carolina, welcome. Good folks from the libraries. Wake County, North Carolina. Some West Coast, folks. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, it's a folks from Library Education. Oh, no fair, Palm Beach County, no snow yet. All right, great. This looks like we have a great group with us here today. So again, welcome everyone to our webinar today. Just a couple notes before we get started. You can use the Q&A box if you have any questions for our panelists. The webinar is being recorded and we will send out a link later after the webinar. Your phone lines are muted, but as I said, you can use the Q&A box to ask any questions you have of the panel and we'll answer them after their presentation. My name is Leslie Gabe-Swanston. I'm the Director of Program and Systems Quality at the National Summer Learning Association. I'm joined today by NSLA's founder and CEO, Matthew Boulay, and Rachel Gwaltney, our Director of Policy and Partnerships. We're going to start out our webinar with a little background on NSLA and our work. Then we'll hear from Matthew about NSLA's partnership with Kids Read Now before Rachel introduces our guest speakers. After the presentation, we'll have time for your questions, and Rich will wrap us up with a few next steps for the group. So NSLA is the only national nonprofit exclusively focused on closing the achievement gap by increasing access to high-quality summer learning opportunities. NSLA's goal is to increase nationwide the number of high-quality summer learning programs designed to close the achievement gap. And to achieve this goal, NSLA recognizes and disseminates what works, offers expertise and support for programs and communities, and advocates for summer learning as a solution for equity and excellence in education. NSLA's work is driven by the belief that all children and youth deserve high-quality summer learning experiences that will help them succeed in college, career, and life. Core to our work is the recognition that high-quality summer learning works. High-quality summer learning programs have been shown to improve reading and math skills, school attachment, motivation, and relationships with adults and peers. NSLA offers in-depth guides and resources that can provide your next staff training, conduct a community landscape assessment, or an evaluation of your program's quality. I want to say a special hello to two groups that are joining us today. The first are the folks from our Common Grounds peer networks. The Common Grounds peer network groups are an intersection of our program and systems quality work. It's a way for us to continue to disseminate and generate awareness in these areas by offering strong interest-based content. Currently, we have 4 groups: early literacy, middle grade and older youth, system building, and policy. If you are not already a member of one of these groups, you can sign up on NSLA's website. The second low is for our new Vision for Summer School Network members. The NVSS network is a peer community of around 50 school districts that are implementing summer school programming. Across the country, what summer school looks like can mean different things, including academics and enrichment. And the group covers topics such as partnerships, evaluation, curriculum, professional development, and other elements to make our new vision for what summer school can be come alive. As you'll hear later, districts and schools that are part of the network are eligible for a discount on Kids Read Now services, and will provide information later on how to join the network. Next, we're going to hear a little bit, just a few remarks from our CEO, Matthew Relay. Matthew? Matthew, I think you might be muted.
Thanks, Leslie. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
And so welcome, everybody. It's particularly cold and blizzardy day to be thinking about the summer, but I'm glad everyone's power is still on and that you're able to join us. We are particularly excited for this new partnership with Kids Read Now. I think that the Kids Read Now model is an opportunity to reach children around the country, particularly in rural areas or communities with less access to formal programs. It's a real opportunity to scale up and reach more kids more efficiently. And as you'll hear, the evidence from the Kids Read Now interventions is really what brought us to this partnership. As you know, for us, results matter, the evidence matters, and Kids Read Now model is one that is built on refining what they've done over the years, studying it, collecting data, and making their outcomes better and better. This type of partnership is the example of some of the best work that I think we do, and that is picking high quality models and programs that are right for scaling up and for new partnerships. And so it's in that spirit that I simply want to welcome all of you and thank our new friends at Kids Read Now. Enjoy the webinar, and we hope to follow up with questions and answers afterwards. Thanks.
Thanks, Matthew. Rachel?
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, like as Matthew said, we're really excited about this partnership with Kids Read Now. Part of our new vision for Summer School Network includes working with partners who are doing really innovative work with school districts around the country to support their summer learning efforts, whether that's academic work or enrichment. So, you know, we're excited to feature this model and the partnership that they've had with Greenville City Schools in Ohio. So I'm going to introduce you to our two speakers today from the team, Allison from Kids Read Now and Laura, the Assistant Superintendent at Greenville City Schools in Ohio. So they're going to tell you about the Kids Read Now model and walk you through the successful implementation of Kids Read Now in Greenville. After their presentation, we'll take questions from you. So feel free to put your questions in the chat box or the Q&A box as we go along, and we will address those during the Q&A portion of the discussion. So I think we can turn it over to Allison.
Hello, thank you, Rachel. Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to attend this webinar today. As Rachel and Leslie and Matthew said, we are all very excited about this partnership with NSLA, and we think this is going to be a great opportunity to reach the kids who need it most. So we've got a lot of information that we're going to cover today, so I'm going to be pretty quick and speedy as I'm going through these slides. So as they mentioned, please feel free to add any questions to the Q&A section down at the bottom of your screen, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions at the end. So first off, I'd like to talk a little bit about how Kids Read Now came about. So the organization was founded in 2010 by Lieb Lurie and his wife, Barb. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. Lieb's family has a long history of community activism, especially in the education realm. So Lieb's mom, Ellen Lurie, has a school named after her in New York because she was a leading figure in the desegregation movement, and she founded a pre-K program that later laid the foundations for Head Start. So she presented in front of Congress on the efficacy of her program, which later became Head Start. So he has a long history of involvement in education, and he and his wife both have a strong passion for it. So later on in Lieb's life, he founded One Call Now, which some of you may use or may be familiar with. One Call Now is a school messaging system similar to any of the texting, phone call systems that you might use to send texts and calls to your families. So at One Call Now, Lieb and his team were sending about 7 million messages a day to community groups, churches, boys and girls clubs, schools. So he has a strong background in technology, and his wife, Barb, was a reading specialist and educator for many years. So all of that in conjunction with his family history it made Lieb want to, dig deeper into the summer slide and figure out how we might be able to solve it. So the main question that, skipped a slide there. So the main question that Lieb wanted to answer when he founded Kids Read Now is how can we leverage technology and communications to serve the kids who need it most, the kids who are hard to reach, who are unlikely to attend summer programs or don't have access to summer programs. So with his technological background, over the past 8 years, we've been able to refine our program, and since 2010, we've delivered over 160,000 books to nearly 27,000 students. And next year, we are looking to serve about 50,000 students. So we'll be sending out over 300,000 books to those 50,000 students. So we're rapidly growing, but we know there are still millions of kids who need our services that we're not currently reaching. So that's why we're here to spread the word today. So now we will move on to how the program works. It's a pretty simple process. There are really 2 major stages of the program. The first stage is the spring setup, which is when school districts set the groundwork to run a successful summer program. So in the springtime, before students leave for summer vacation, teachers will help students pick 9 books that they want to read from a wish list of over 140 titles. So we have our wish list ranges from pre-K up through 4th grade reading levels to accommodate students at all of all abilities. So students will pick 9 books that they want to get over the summer, and then parents will provide some contact information to us so we can reach them over the summer. And at the end of, sorry, my slides keep advancing for some reason. So at the end of the school year, after the children have picked their books and parents have given us contact information, then we host, the school will host, with our help, a family reading night. So the main purpose of the family reading night is to get families engaged with the program, to get them excited and motivated to keep reading over the summer. At that event, the students will receive their first 3 books out of the 9 that they chose in the springtime. So every student will leave for summer with at least 3 books in their hand. Once summer begins, then students will read one of the 3 books that they got at the family reading night, and we will send a call, text, or email every week to ask what book their student read. If they respond to us and let us know which book their student read, then we mail another book to their home the following week. So we call it a read a book, get a book program. If you read a book and you tell us which book you read, then we mail another one to your home the following week. So that's really those are the guts of the program. That's how it works. Now we're going to dive into why it works. So at Kids Read Now, we have 5 main principles that kind of guide our organization, and these 5 pillars are why the program works. So we'll go into more depth on these here in a little bit, but first we'll start off with our first pillar, which is choices. So you all probably know this, but when students pick books that they want to read, they're much, much more likely to actually read them. There's ample research out there that shows this. But as I mentioned earlier, we give every student the opportunity to pick the books that they want to read from our wish list of 140 titles. Our wish list includes bilingual books, multicultural books. We have at least 20% bilingual and multicultural titles on our wish list. We have, sorry about these slides, I don't know why they keep jumping ahead. We also have fiction and nonfiction. We have bestsellers. We have award-winning books, books that kids want to read, The Cat in the Hat, Goodnight Moon, the Judy Blume books. So we have titles that kids are actually interested in reading, and that's incredibly important to get kids to actually read the books that they choose. Another way that we offer choices to our families is that we allow guardians to tell us how they want to be contacted. So they can choose text message, voice call, email, or Facebook Messenger, and we will reach out to them in whatever way they choose over the summer. So we can be sure that we're actually reaching them and that we're not contacting them in a way that isn't effective or isn't preferred. So next we'll move on to challenges. We have quite a few different challenging components of the program. So the first kind of built-in challenge that we have is the read a book, get a book model. So of course, we challenge students to read a book in order to get their next one. If we don't hear from students by week 3, then we send them a postcard, which is the screenshot that you see on the screen here. So we send them a postcard and say, hey, here's the contact information we have on file for you. We haven't heard from you. Here's how to report your books. Give us a call and let us know if your contact information is incorrect. So that's the first component of the of challenges, how we incorporate challenges into our program. Also, every title includes inside the front cover what we call a discovery sheet. So really it just includes 4 different reading comprehension questions that are designed to keep kids engaged in what they're reading and to help boost their comprehension. So the educators in the audience today are probably familiar with this, but we have 3 different types of questions, and then we have a creative activity. So we have text to self questions, text to text, text to world, and a creative activity. The creative activities are, draw a picture, write a song, perform a play, something that engages their creative side. So we challenge students and parents to work together on this discovery sheet to boost their reading comprehension and allow students to really absorb what they read. So throughout this presentation, I've been talking about our parental engagement, but to give you a little bit more detail on how we engage parents, as I mentioned already, every school will host what we call a family reading night, and main purpose is to excite students and motivate parents. as I said, the kids will get their first 3 books, and parents at the family reading night will get a parent guide. The parent guide includes general information on how Kids Read Now works, why summer reading is important, grade-specific tips on how to keep your kids reading over the summer, and some general contact information and information on how to report your books. So parents and students will leave school with everything that they need to be successful in the program. The parent guide comes in English and Spanish, so we can accommodate both of those audiences, and it's written at a 4th grade reading level. So parents who may not have very advanced reading skills will still be able to use that parent guide to work with their students over the summer. Also, as I mentioned, we send a weekly call, text, or email to all of our families, which keeps the parents engaged in their kids' summer reading. And we also send a bi-weekly motivational message to parents. So that bi-weekly motivational message will have a link to a video, 30 to 60-second video with a quick tip on how to help your kids keep reading over the summer, or it'll be a link to an easy-to-read article about how to improve summer learning, just some type of tool to give parents a better handle on how to keep their kids reading over the summer. So we also include a few different reward elements in the program. First off, the read a book, get a book model is in itself a built-in reward system. If you read a book, then you get another book. Also, we deliver certificates and optional prizes to all students who read the 9 books that they chose over in the springtime. So if a student reports that they read 9 books, then they'll get a certificate, which you can see over on the right-hand side of your screen, with their name on it, and congratulating them for completing the program. And then down at the bottom there, you see some of the prizes that we award to students who do read all 9 books. And we leave the celebration component up to school districts to choose how they may want to acknowledge their students, but most districts do have an award celebration of some sort. So it's a great way to keep kids motivated to keep reading over the summer. So finally, the component, my personal favorite component, is results or data analysis, which is what we call it internally. But everything that we do, as Matthew mentioned at the beginning, everything that we do, we study intensely to see if it's working or not. So the first way that we use our data to inform some of our decisions and help districts inform some of their decisions is we have a real-time data portal online that every educator and every parent can access that shows enrollment participation and program completion statistics. So we have a couple screenshots on here on the screen. You can look at the average number of books read within your district. If you're a school official, then your view will be limited to just your school. If you're a teacher, whoops, sorry about that. If you're a teacher, then your view will be limited just to the students in your class. If you're a parent, then you'll only be able to see your children. But you can look at how many books were read on average, how many students completed the program. You can compare different cohorts of students. So over on the right-hand side, you see we've got a comparison there of white middle-income boys, Black low-income girls, and Hispanic middle-income girls. So you can customize the cohorts that you want to compare to see who's doing well and who isn't. Also, at the end of the program, we deliver program summaries to every district. And that program summary has all the information that you would find in the portal. But in case you don't check the portal for, if you're not keeping track of your stats over the summer, then we'll deliver a report to you in the fall that lists enrollment, participation, and completion statistics. We also deliver a survey to all of our parents and all educators involved. All educators involved in the program, asking them what they thought, and we'll give you the results of the survey just within your district. And finally, we list areas of improvement for future years. So if we did something wrong, or if there was any type of hang up on our end, we'll let you know what it was and let you know how we're going to fix it. If we think that your district could have improved something. We'll give you that feedback as well, so you know how you can improve the program in future years. So we try to give you all the information you need to inform future decisions, and we use that data to inform our decisions as well. So the most important, I think, the most important part of our program is that we have proven that it works. So every year in the fall, we have an independent third-party data analytics firm that collects the spring reading scores and the fall reading scores for students who participated in Kids Read Now and students who did not participate in Kids Read Now. So what we've seen since 2013, when we started analyzing our data, is that every single year we have seen significant and substantial reading score improvements, especially in high poverty populations. So that's a quote directly from Dr. Richard Stock. Some of you may have heard of him. He's a very reputable education statistician here in the Dayton, Ohio area. So anyway, so we have found year after year that what we're doing is working. Sorry about that. And we continue to analyze our students' data every year. So if you're a district who's participating in the program, we will run your data for free as part of, included in the program. We'll run your students' data. We'll tell you which students gained, advanced their reading skills, which students didn't, and why we think that might be. So we try to be, as I said, completely transparent. We give you all the information that that you will need to inform your program decisions, and we use that information to inform our decisions as well. So that being said, I think that's all I wanted to get through today. So I'm very happy that Laura Bemis, Assistant Superintendent of Greenville City Schools, was able to join us today. She's been a longtime partner of Kids Read Now, and they've run a very successful program in prior years. So that being said, I will pass it off to Laura, and she can tell you a little bit more about how Greenville implemented Kids Read Now in their district.
Thank you, Allison, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm pleased to be invited to be able to talk to you about Kids Read Now and how we've used that in Greenville City Schools. Greenville, it's a rural district in Ohio with a 54% poverty rate. And we needed a means to encourage students to read during the summer, and also a means to engage families in the reading process. Our data from spring to fall indicated that we needed to stop the summer slide and continue to engage students in reading over the summer. When we looked at our options, Kids Read Now was a perfect solution. It brought books directly to students, gave us data to track our summer reading results for students, and it also enabled us, we were able to use our Title I money because of the 5 pillars that Kids Read Now has: the choices, challenges, parental engagement, rewards, and results, fit right into our Title I plan in our CCIP. So we were able to leverage that money and give our students reading over the summer and engage the parents in that reading also. Our enrollment in Greenville was just amazing. 100% of our eligible students enrolled in Kids Read Now. Greenville City Schools signed up for the free Clever application, and that allows Kids Read Now to pull student data into the Kids Read Now portal directly from our district student information system in accordance with FERPA standards. It also allowed our district to auto-enroll all eligible students instead of waiting for students to return signed enrollment forms. For 2018, Kids Read Now is also offering a spreadsheet import option so that districts who have not signed up for Clever will be able to pull a spreadsheet from their student information systems and auto-enroll students. As Allison talked about, we host a kickoff night, which is our family reading night, In the first year that we hosted this family reading night, we planned on 100% of our families attending, and we nearly had that. I'm glad that we planned for it because it was a huge event. We host in May, and it's been extremely well attended every year from the very beginning. We feed families, we deliver the first 3 books for summer reading, and provide prizes and entertainment during that event. Community and business partners donate services and goods to make the night a huge and successful event. PTA, the local fire department, and police department are all involved and participate in the event. They donate goods and services, grill and serve hot dogs, water, chips, and help from setup to cleanup at the event in the cafeteria, gym, and also on our back patio. In the gym, we have boxes of books sorted by grade, teacher, and alphabetically by student. The books come to us from Kids Read Now, totally organized to make the delivery process efficient and effective. Teachers handed out books to their students. For entertainment, we had a storyteller. The storyteller was Mark. He presented 2 sessions by reading stories for students, and families attended in huge numbers for that event. Parents just kind of flowed through with their children from eating to storytelling to getting books. Beyond the evening, businesses made donations to continue to encourage reading throughout the summer. Our PTA and literacy coaches worked together to make this event a huge success. They created a bookmark with free items from local businesses that students could take their books to those businesses in the summer and get prizes. You could see on our bookmark, McDonald's was one of those folks. They donated free ice cream cones to kids. That was a big hit. The participation rate in Greenville was excellent. 26% of our students read 9 or more books, and 59% of our students read at least 1 book. The average participation of library programs is 11%, so 26% completion rate is excellent. Our completion rate increases each year that we're involved with Kids Read Now. So again, we're measuring that and checking outcomes, and they are improving annually. Beyond the summer and into the fall, Mrs. Harder and Mrs. Statzer, the principal and assistant principal, along with the literacy coaches, planned an award ceremony in partnership with Kids Read Now. At the ceremony, students received awards for completing the program, and the class level number of books are shared. There was a dance party with a bubble machine and an event where students were recognized for their success and encouraged to read more next summer. The Kids Read Now prizes were awesome, and the kids were very excited and engaged and looking forward already to next summer and reading more. Kids Read Now sends a survey to parents and educators every fall after the program ends to measure their satisfaction and identify areas for improvement. As you can see, the results are very positive from both parents and educators. 100% of educators in the Greenville City School District would recommend Kids Read Now to other educators. That's an amazing number. As you all know, as educators, it's hard to get 100% of anything, so that's a pretty exciting number for us. We're pleased. Kids Read Now prepares a report so that we can examine our data based on spring to fall testing. We use MAP testing. Our data showed that our Kids Read Now students gained up to 4 months of reading skills versus those who didn't participate in Kids Read Now. On average, across the K-2 cohort, Kids Read Now students gained 1.5 to 2.6 months versus non-participants. Those results make us committed to continuing with Kids Read Now. We're very excited about what this summer brings as we annually improve our outcomes.
Okay, thanks, Laura and Allison. We're going to open the discussion up for questions now. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and we will get to those. So we do have a couple questions that have come in. specifically asking whether or not the parent guides are available in other languages.
So currently we offer the parent guides in English and in Spanish. However, in future years, we do plan to add more languages. For large school districts, we're happy to make individual accommodations. So if you have a high Arabic population or high Mandarin population, then we are happy to make individual materials for you on a case-by-case basis. So it's definitely an option, but currently we only have English and Spanish.
Okay. Great. We have a couple questions here about the price and the pricing structures, whether there's a per student price, something along those lines.
Yeah, so we have 3 different types of programs that we offer. So we have a basic model, which is a pretty bare bones program, still includes all the components that you saw in this presentation, but the basic program starts at $50 per student, and we're able to subsidize that with some grant money, and many districts have subsidized it with local grant money from businesses, foundations. We also have a standard program, which is kind of a middle-of-the-road program that it has some of the frills of some extra frills to the program, but not as much as our comprehensive program. So the pricing per student starts at $50 per student, and as I mentioned, you can subsidize that with grant money, and we offer volume discounts if you have a sufficiently large school district. We also offer early payment discounts, so if you pay this year for next year's program, we offer some payment discounts as well. So hard to give an exact per student price, but it starts at $50, and we can bring it down or move it up depending on the specifics of your district.
Mm-hmm. And Laura mentioned that you all had used Title I funding to pay for the program. Is there other common funding streams that districts have used to pay?
Laura, I think you probably know a little bit more about the funding aspect than I do.
Yes, there are certainly many different ways to look at funding. You can use, there are several federal grants that are available, both competitive and consolidated. You can also use PTA, I know, is always active in making donations, or PTO. Those are the main ones. I would certainly look most closely at those federal grants, and Title I is probably the most usable because of, again, those 5 pillars that Kids Read Now speaks directly to. But there are certainly other federal funds that I would be happy to talk with districts about and help them work through.
Great. We have a question here about what grades students have to be in to participate in the program.
So we primarily serve K through 3 students, but we have had districts, Greenville actually was one of the districts that included pre-K students, and we've had other districts that wanted to include 4th graders. So logistically, we can serve pre-K through 4th grade, though the program is primarily geared towards K through 3.
Okay. And there's a question here, are families required to text or call before getting new books after the initial 3 books?
Yes, that's right. So the first 3 books they get at the family reading night, and then for the standard and comprehensive versions of the program, we also send out a 4th book in the middle of the summer if we haven't heard from students yet. So I believe it's in week 5 or 6. If we had not yet heard from a student, then we will mail the 4th book from their list to their home as an incentive to get them to participate. So with the basic program, students will get at least 3 books with the potential to get more if they call, text, or email us. With the standard and comprehensive programs, every student will get at least 4 books.
Okay, and then just a clarifying question here from someone, are the first 3 books sent to schools for family night, and then the remaining 6 books are mailed to students' homes directly? Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, great. Let's see, another question about the parents. Do the parent guides include activities and experiences as well as questions to discuss?
Yeah, so the the first three questions, the text to text, text to self, and text to world, those are all just questions to talk about. The creative question is usually an activity. Usually it's not a question. Usually it's something like draw a picture, write a story of your own, or something that's a little bit more active. So yeah, does that answer that question?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Couple more questions about cost, and then a couple questions about results. Can a district just sign up to like pilot a small portion, like for instance, just second graders, and then sort of expand there based on budgeting?
Yes, and we actually have quite a few districts that do that. Of course, we want to reach as many students as we possibly can, but we're happy to start off with just one grade and expand to more in future years, or we've had some districts that target their lowest performing students and then expand the program to all students in future years. So yeah, we're happy to serve whatever students you want us to serve.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then a question here, are the 140 books per grade level, is that per grade level or those for the whole K-3 span?
That's for the whole K-3 span. So on the 2018 wish list, we have 150 titles actually. So yeah, that ranges from pre-K level books all the way up through, I believe we have some 5th grade level books for the advanced readers. But primarily they're K-3.
Okay. A couple of questions about results. One, is there still a guarantee that districts will see improvement in reading scores? I think I saw that one time for this program.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we do offer a guarantee. So as long as the district follows all of the suggestions that we make as to how to run a successful program, then if you don't see results, we've got a guarantee in place that will allow a partial refund of program fees.
Okay. And then there's another question here about the results that you discussed earlier. Why do you think the students that read 1 to 3 books showed less regression than those that read more than 3? And maybe that's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was an interesting finding, and that was specific to Greenville students. So across the board, most of our districts, we do see that, of course, the students who read more books have better reading scores or have more reading improvement over the summer. Greenville, that was kind of an anomaly to us. We weren't entirely sure why that was the case, but one suggestion that our statistician made to us is that it could be the case that the students that really entering into the program and engaging with it the first time was really the most important and most influential determinant of their reading scores. So he said it could be that upon entering the program, students did better, and those who completed the program by reading all 9 books did better. But it was kind of a strange finding in Greenville. So unfortunately, I don't have a great answer for you, but I'm happy to update you all next year, and hopefully we'll see some different results in Greenville. But we are still very, very, very pleased with the results there.
Well, and we always say, it's a look at 1 year of data, and typically we need 3 years of data to make a pattern. And so that's just 1 year. That really isn't the pattern that we've had in Greenville.
Yeah.
Great, that's good clarification. Question here about working with urban school districts and sort of what's the profile of school districts that you've worked with, and then is there research on the different types of districts available on your website?
Mm-hmm. So I believe we have, I'll need to double check on this, but I believe we have all of our research studies posted on our website. If we don't, I'm happy to circulate that to whoever might be interested in those. So as far as the demographics of our districts that we've worked with, it really spans across the board. We've worked with public, private, parochial, charter schools. I would say probably about, I would say maybe 60 to 70% of our districts are rural districts, especially attractive to rural districts because we do reach students in their home, so they don't have to travel to a school or travel to a facility. We have worked with urban districts in the past. We've worked with Akron in Ohio, New York City, or in New York City schools, so we have worked with urban populations. We serve 70% economically disadvantaged students. So most of our students are economically disadvantaged or toward the lower end of the economic spectrum. And we collect all that data from our school districts so we know what kind of students we're serving. And last year, I believe we had about, I believe it was 35% non-Caucasian students. So that we've worked with every different group we can think of.
Absolutely. And a similar question here, do you have to be a school district to implement this program? Can a 21st Century Community Learning Center participate?
We currently only work with school districts, but we have had school districts that choose to adopt Kids Read Now and partner with a library program or a lunch, summer lunch program. So it is possible to integrate Kids Read Now with other programs, but we do not sell directly to non-school entities at the moment.
Okay. Let's see. Another question about bilingual. Do you have bilingual books? The person did hear that the parent guides come in Spanish, but what about the books?
Yes, so we have I think this year it's 22% of our books are bilingual, and another 20% are multicultural. Okay,
great. And do you have a list of the book titles from which the students can choose so that people can get a sense of what books?
I sure do. Feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to provide that.
Okay, great. Similarly, can Kids Read Now loan the school with a collection of all the books so that teachers can do book talks and sort of introduce the books to students before they select their books?
Great question. We do that. We offer one of each of our titles to the school district when before enrollment begins. So we deliver an enrollment kit to all of our school districts that includes a wish list, one copy of each title that we offer, and some other enrollment materials and enrollment prizes and things like that. So yes, every school will get one copy of each title.
And then another question, what is the timeline for implementing this in a school? How much lead time is needed before the family night?
Mm-hmm. So I'll just start with the general timeline. So typically the end of January of the intended program year is when we stop allowing new districts to join the program. So we'd like to get all of our agreements secured by the end of January, which gives us enough time to order our books and produce all of the materials that we need to produce. So after January, enrollment, there will be about a month and a half time frame during which the educators will go through some onboarding and training exercises and videos to help them successfully implement the program. And then enrollment typically happens during the month of March. Between March and April is when we typically send out enrollment materials. And then the family nights are typically hosted end of May, early June, depending on what your school schedule is. But we leave all the family reading night dates and planning up to the school district. So we'll provide you with a toolkit that you can use to implement the family reading night. But as far as planning a date, we leave that up to the district, because many districts choose to have the family reading night on a night where they have another event planned so that they can make sure that most families will be there. So we leave the scheduling to you, but we'll give you all the tools that you need for the family reading night.
Great. Another question that I had, I wonder, maybe Laura can speak to this. What kind of school-based, staff or capacity was needed to run the program? So how did this sort of fit with the staffing responsibilities that you have for folks?
That's a great question. We had volunteers who were very helpful. Again, through our parent organization, we also have literacy coaches who help, but really everything that Kids Read Now does for us comes so organized that it requires very little staff. We had teachers who volunteered to come to our family reading night. They wanted to be there. They understood the need, and they support the program. So our attendance by teachers was wonderful, and they did hand out the books to the students that night, which I think made the students want to come and the parents want to be there more. but it is really a turnkey program, and Kids Read Now is very organized in what they deliver to the school to be up and running.
Oh, how fun.
Just to quickly add to that, so on our end, we request, and this isn't mandatory, but we request that every district gives us the contact information for one person at the district level who will serve as the district coordinator for the Kids Read Now program, and then one person at every participating school to serve as the point person. It's just easier if we work with one person instead of having to communicate with all the teachers and all the school staff. So we do request that the district coordinator and the building coordinator are both, in contact with us regularly. In total, the building coordinators probably do a little more work than the district coordinators, just because they're the ones that are actually handing out the materials and following up with students. So in the springtime, the last few weeks of school, it's maybe 1 to 2 hours a week time commitment for the building coordinators. So it's a pretty light commitment.
Great. Any other questions from our audience here? We're getting towards the end of our discussion. Okay. Why don't we move on to the wrap-up discussion, and then if a couple more questions come in, we can touch base with those. So let's see. Leslie, can you make it go to the next slide? I can't do anything.
We should be on the next steps right now.
Oh, okay. I'm just not seeing it. Okay.
I'm not seeing it either.
Give me one sec. Okay, so next steps, I will tell you. All right, so folks listening in, if you are interested in learning more about the Kids Read Now model, we would like you to email directly to them. You can reach them at outreach@kidsreadnow.org, or you can call their office at 877-536-0130 to speak with a Kids Read Now representative. And this information will be in the slides, which we can share with you after the webinar. That's outreach@kidsreadnow.org. You will have seen that NSLA school district members can get a 5% discount on the Kids Read Now program if you're a member of the New Vision for Summer School network of districts that we mentioned earlier. And you can email us at nvss@summerlearning.org to learn more about joining the NVSS network. As Allison mentioned, January 31st is the commitment deadline for the 2018 Kids Read Now program for this summer. So if that's something that you're interested in exploring for the summer, please do contact us right away about that. And as we said, you can reach out directly to Kids Read Now. If you're a school district and you want to join our NVSS network, you can email us at summerlearning.org. And then finally, for staying in touch with NSLA, as we said earlier, you can join any of our Common Grounds affinity groups by visiting our website, and there's instructions there and information about each of the groups and the different topics that we cover. And as well as our New Vision for Summer School network is also on the Common Grounds page. There's information there about that. We encourage you to visit our new website and our new Knowledge Center at summerlearning.org. There's information, research, tip sheets, all kinds of great information all in one place in the Knowledge Center under resources at summerlearning.org. You can stay in touch with us via social media. You can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. On summerlearning.org, you can also sign up for our newsletter, The Summer Times, where we send out all kinds of information, new resources, announcements, all kinds of great stuff. So we encourage you to stay in touch with us throughout the year. So I want to thank Allison and Laura for joining us here on our webinar, as well as Matthew and Leslie from our team. We are excited about this partnership with Kids Read Now. We think it's a great program, and we're happy to work with you on the district side, on the school side, to help you get connected with them. So please stay in touch with us, and thanks for joining us here today on the webinar.
Thank you all. This is Allison. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. This is Laura. Much appreciated.